Every ruler in every civilization faces the same problem. Power alone is never enough. Armies can conquer and laws can command. But rule lasts only when people accept authority. Ancient China and India both produced great rulers, yet they solved this problem in different ways. No ruler governs by force alone. Fear may silence resistance for a time, but it cannot sustain rule. People must believe that authority makes sense, even when it is demanding. In China, acceptance was closely linked to order. A ruler was expected to keep society stable, and authority was questioned when disorder spread. This meant authority was conditional. It depended on results. A ruler was accepted as long as order held. Qin Shi Huang unified China through force and strict law. His power was immense but short-lived. Later rulers, such as Emperor Wu of the Han Dynasty, governed through ritual, officials, and tradition. Authority no longer depended only on the ruler's will. It rested in continuity. People accepted rule because it felt stable and familiar. In India, acceptance followed a different path. Authority was closely tied to moral responsibility and just conduct. Acceptance depended less on order and more on conduct. This is why Ashoka, a Mauryan ruler, remains influential. After turning away from conquest, he sought to govern through responsibility. People accepted his authority because it claimed concern for their welfare. Centuries later, Akbar, a Mughal ruler, faced the same challenge in a diverse society. His authority rested on judgment, tolerance, and personal leadership. Acceptance did not always mean approval. It often meant recognition that rule was preferable to chaos. In both civilizations, obedience had limits. Authority had to be renewed. Gaining authority is only the beginning. The greater challenge is holding power together, across distance, over time, and beyond one ruler's life. In China, unity was treated as an ideal. Periods of division were seen as problems to be solved. When the state fractured, rulers and elites worked toward reunification. After the fall of the Qin, the Han Dynasty showed how unity could endure through officials, shared laws, and common practices. This pattern appeared again under later dynasties. China governed large and varied regions while keeping authority centered. India followed a different path. Large empires did form, but unity was often temporary. Power was layered. Local rulers, regions, and traditions retained real authority. The Mauryan Empire came closest to lasting unity. Even then, rule depended on local elites and moral influence, rather than deep bureaucracy. Power can rest in a person or in a system. The balance between the two shapes how authority survives success, failure, and death. In China, rulers mattered, but they rarely stood alone. Over time, the state developed habits and institutions that limited personal rule. Officials, rituals, and procedures acted as buffers between ruler and population. Even strong emperors such as Taizong of the Tang dynasty ruled through advice and debate. Ministers were expected to question decisions. Authority was personal, but it operated within an accepted framework. When rulers ignored that framework, problems followed, yet the structure itself endured. New dynasties rebuilt familiar institutions rather than starting from nothing. In India, authority leaned more toward the individual ruler. Judgment, character, and moral standing carried great weight. This allowed flexibility and creativity, but it also increased risk. Akbar's reign shows the strength of this approach. He governed through trust and personal decision-making in a diverse empire. Stability followed him. When successors lacked his ability, authority weakened. Without strong institutions to absorb failure, power became fragile. Systems favor stability, while personal rule can magnify both brilliance and failure. China and India produced powerful rulers and enduring civilizations, and both histories show that authority mattered more than force. In China, authority leaned toward continuity and structure. Unity was treated as an ideal. Rulers came and went, but the expectation of a strong center remained. In India, authority rested more heavily on the ruler himself. Moral conduct and judgment shaped acceptance. This encouraged tolerance and regional adaptability, but made unity more dependent on leadership. Neither path was superior. Each reflected deep assumptions about society and responsibility. One favored durability through systems, the other favored balance through personal rule. History does not tell us who was right. It helps us see why authority endures and why it sometimes fails. What are your thoughts on how China and India approached power and authority? Feel free to share them in the comments below. Please subscribe if you enjoy thoughtful history like this, and click to get notifications when new videos are released.